Hi guys, it's Chantelle CW for the Moment Network, and I am here with KIGA
Yeah.
and for Kuruza. So basically, Kuruza is the best. I don't go to clubs, all I go to is Kuruza.
Yeah.
And you guys have played such a significant role in introducing genres as Afrobeats and Amapiano to Toronto.
Yeah.
Could you take us through the journey of championing these genres and the reactions you received from your audience?
Yeah, at first, I was struggling to get to get it across to the audience because Afrobeat wasn't as big.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the right timing because I started in like 2016 or 2015.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I relaunched it with Minzy and Onga like 2018. So for the past 5 years, like it's been going well and growing steady and just like keeps growing and growing, getting better. And I think like the growth of like the genre globally just like helps. It was just like a perfect timing for us to just grow
It
and like
blew
be
up.
a
Yeah.
champion of like yeah. And then Amapiano was like right before the pandemic, so we were like the first ones to like really play Amapiano.
Yeah.
And then Angel and Minzy launched their own party called Amaproblem where they champion like specifically Amapiano.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels good. It feels really, really good.
And what was like the seed for the beginning of Kuruza?
The seed it was because I love like electronic music from Africa, and I didn't find any space in like the city where I could play that or like I could enjoy the music or just like meet people that also love the music.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create like some sort of community of like where I'll be able to play those type of songs. Because at that moment, like as a DJ, you almost had to play like house, like electronics
In order to
scene.
grab the people in.
Not necessarily. The scene were like separated. There was the hip hop scene, and then the dancehall, hip hop together, and then the electronic scene was like another world.
Yeah.
So either you have to fit in one
Some
of
of
those,
those, yeah.
either one or the other. But I loved both.
Yeah.
So I think like Afro house or like Afro beats is like a fusion of so many genres because yeah. And then I was like fascinated. I just loved it, and I thought that like music is becoming like the genres are like so blurry because like people just take from so many genres.
Which I
it
like more better, yeah.
Yeah. So I think like I wanted to create a space where like I could have both worlds. So at Kuruza we have the Afro beats that has the dancehall element, that has like reggae, that has hip hop into it, and then we have the electronic, which is like the Amapiano, the Afro house, Afro tech, like all type, and we're able to blend all those. And as DJs, like you really want to play what you want,
Yeah.
and we didn't have any space for us to do it, so we created our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys hosted Manifesto's after party last year
Yeah.
for their festival. How do you feel like being on the big stage now?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really amazing because like a lot of like artists performed on the Manifesto stage and became like global superstar. Whether it's Daniel Caesar, Drake,
Yeah.
and just being part of it is just like an amazing thing. And it just I can't imagine like what's next. You know, like
yeah.
I'm
The
like,
growth of you guys has
yeah,
been like.
yeah. I'm like wow, looking forward to what's next.
Yeah, and you guys have had a lot of collaborations for your journey, such as Everyday People and The Boiler Room.
Yeah.
How have these collaborations enriched your artistic expression and expanded your reach?
It definitely expanded our reach because I think like Everyday People is a party that's like very similar to ours because
Yeah.
like it unites like the African diaspora and just like black people in general, whether it's from the Caribbean or like Africa, also the just like the African Americans. So I think like we're very similar in that sense, and like they've been doing the party a little bit earlier than us, and they already had like a good audience in Toronto. So the fact that we worked with them like helped us reach that audience
Yeah.
a lot faster, and then we get to learn about like what they did with their company because like now they're like global. They go like all over the world and take the party
Yeah.
like all over the world, which is like something that we would love to do. And like
It's gonna get there
yeah,
at this point, yeah.
and then being able to be in the room with them and just like see what they're doing, how they like handle the business, how they handle the nights.
Yeah.
We learn so much, and it's like an amazing experience. And just artistically, like learning from like OGs and just like people that have been doing it before you and that have like the similar mission.
Yeah.
It's just like good to see that, and like you just grow as an artist and you know how to do things better. Yeah.
So, what advice would you give for someone who's starting out who would want to throw events or become being DJs and throwing events and wanting to make an impact as you guys have? Or like, what could you tell yourself at the start that you know now?
To be honest, like the best advice I would give to people is just like always find like the reason why you're doing something, because like that I think is what makes you unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because money will come, go, fame will come, go. But if you know your why, like why you doing this, like what's your mission, like why are you doing that, like you're just unstoppable. Because like nobody's gonna dictate like what move you're gonna make, and like, and if you have consistency, like people will join the movement because like they want something that's consistent. They want to belong to something.
Yeah. Was it hard at the start in order to
Yeah,
pick
it was
things
hard.
up?
It was hard. It was really hard at the start. But when I relaunched it, I had like my why in my head, and I knew exactly why I wanted to do it. Before it was just like, oh, I want to play this type of music. But I wasn't part of like, I wasn't creating the full experience, like being in control of the graphic design,
Yeah.
the experience of like the person that's coming to the party, whether it's like the decoration and stuff like that. I wasn't like paying attention to it. I was just like focused on like playing the music.
And that's it.
But for people to belong or understand a movement or understand an experience, they have to feel like the graphic like represents them.
Yeah.
The wording, the
you
like,
realize how much goes into it in order to captivate that audience.
Yeah, exactly. So
Makes sense.
those are things that I had to learn, and I think like when you find your why, you figure out that every little details is like important. Yeah.
And as trailblazers in uniting the African diaspora through music, how do you feel your presence is reshaping perceptions of African music and culture on a broader scale?
I think African music has always been very popular, especially like in Europe and like Africa, because like, you know, because of colonization.
And there's a huge like music output in Africa as well.
Yeah. So like music has always been popular like in Europe, but the only difference now is like it's really big in North America.
Yeah.
And also back then, like the African music that was very popular was produced by, whether it's like French producers, English producers. It wasn't like Africans, like young Africans making the music and like taking it to the globe.
People who have been in it for a minute. And all
It was mostly like big producers from like France or like Europe or England that would like sign artists from Africa and like make the music for them and like just push it to the world. And that was like the world music movement, which like some people don't like anymore, but yeah. But I feel like now it's like very exciting because it's young people making the music, the producers, the directors,
even the event planners and everything.
Everything is just like young people making that. And I think like because also Africa is like the youngest continent in the world, I believe that like the youth always dictate culture.
It's true. Yeah,
so
we were just talking about that.
Yeah, so because we have like the youngest continent, I believe that we'll be like, we'll be really like influential in terms of like pop culture and just like culture in general around the world. Yeah.
And for our last question, what is your most memorable Kuruza like event that you were like, okay, all the hard work at the beginning, trying to bring that traction, what you were like, this is all worth it?
I think it was Caribana weekend that we did in 2019. That was just like, what, 6 months after we relaunched?
Yeah.
That was like probably the best moment because I saw the lineup go all the way. It was at the Drake Hotel. And I don't know if you guys see, like the Drake is on Queen Street West.
Yeah, Queen.
And the line was going all the way to Pizza.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, wow.
You
like,
just stepped out and you're just like, they're
are they
all
coming
here
for this? Like, what is going on? But also like we do a separate event called Jazz Night. And it's like we wanted to recreate like MTV Unplugged kind of where like we have like the band playing and like some of our friends, the community members, like come and sing.
Out.
And the first Jazz Night, we never post like who's performing.
You guys were literally, you had guest list. I remember this, and like my friend was just like, Girl, even if you're on the guest list, it's already full. I was just like, that is crazy.
Yeah, so Jazz Night, we never like put like who's performing. Nobody know what Jazz Night was about, but they showed up, they lined up, and I was like, wow.
Your community's getting stronger.
Yeah. So those are like key moments that I was like, cause like I wouldn't go to a show if I don't know who's performing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the party is about because it's called Kuruza Jazz Night. Kuruza's been doing like a dance party, and now you're like
a whole jazz.
Yeah, and yeah. I was like, nah, people are not gonna show up, but they showed up.
Yeah. And
so I think it's like really good to see them, and yeah, I'm really excited to see what we're gonna do next in the city, and I'm really excited about all the talent that I see nowadays in the city, and people like open to so many genres.
Yeah.
Not just like R&B and hip hop. So I think like if you see like how Toronto is like multicultural, and I see like Indians like coming up with like some new sounds.
Yeah.
And like implementing like hip hop elements, Afrobeats element, and just like I'm like, wow.
It's a mix. It's
the future looks like
what's it called, grouped off.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for your time, and I'm excited to where Kuruza is gonna end up.
Yeah, thank you.